Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Art for the Heart 2021 Virtual Festival. My name is Maria Poor, and I am the advisor for Maricopa High School's Graphic Art and Design program, the students who put this entire event together for you. MHS Graphic Design created this art festival back in 2018 to provide our community with a way to honor our artists and to give back. Thank you so much for joining us. During this virtual festival, you'll be introduced to some of our local artists here in Maricopa. We're going to talk about how you can make a difference in the fight against heart disease. And we're also going to show you how you can support MHS Graphic Design if you're interested. And of course, some of our local artists today by checking out their incredible artworks. Next, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to our festival director, Miss Lexie Nordhoff.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Art for the Heart is a student-organized arts and crafts festival that benefits the American Heart Association. This is our third annual event, and we are so glad that you're here with us today. Although a virtual arts festival isn't necessarily ideal, we have all worked so hard to organize this event, and we hope that you enjoy it. Now, I'd like to take a moment to introduce you all to our social media and public relations director, Emily Dickerson, to tell you more about the American Heart Association.
Hi, everyone. So I would like to start off with why we chose the American Heart Association as our charity. We chose this because art is a reflection of one's heart, and when an artist pours himself into a new project, it's a reflection of themselves. Another reason is that about 30 million people are affected by heart disease, strokes, and other cardiovascular diseases, and every 43 seconds, someone passes away from one of these diseases. We want to help save lives and reduce the risk of these diseases affecting anyone. If you would like to donate to the American Heart Association, you can visit their website and provide any amount of money you would like. So first off, I would like to talk about our very first artist, Crystal Melody. Crystal has lived in and taught art in Maricopa since 2005. She currently teaches for Mobile Elementary School, Central Arizona College, and Primavera Online High School. She's also an instructor for Art and SIP and Ultrastar. She specialized in nature-inspired subject matter and is currently painting a horse statue for the police substation at Copper Sky. Back to you, Ms. Spohr.
Thank you so much, Emily. Next, I'd like to introduce you guys to Mr. Rocky Accord. Rocky is a lapidary artist and self-taught silversmith. He also works with turquoise and other copper-based materials, such as criscola and shadokite. He also works with fire agate that is found right here in Arizona. He cuts and polishes all of the minerals that he utilizes in his gorgeous jewelry pieces. And all of the turquoise that he uses, he can actually identify the mine and the mining district where it comes from. We also have a video to share with you from Rocky's own studio.
My name's Rocky Accord. I'm the principal artist here at Big Rock Designs. I'm a large mammal, a big man, and my name's Rocky, so hence the name Big Rock Designs. Been doing this for a short period of time, but I've really enjoyed it and happy to show you where I work and how my creations come to be. This is my studio. I've just taken the rock shop. I've taken a part of my garage and I've converted it into where I work on the rocks. So the whole point of this is to take turquoise, which comes in different shapes. We take it from this basic shape here, or this basic shape here, and turn it into a finished product like this, which is known as a cabochon. Now this product here, this is turquoise from the Patagonia Mountains. I've also got some lovely turquoise from Kingman, Nevada. That's just kind of the different color variations you can have there. And this is some old school Sleeping Beauty turquoise. I really had a lot of fun with this, and I really enjoyed working with this. It's known for its blue, very little matrix. Sometimes it's got a black matrix. Matrix is the rock that's surrounding it. Makes beautiful jewelry. And then another that I work with is, this is a copper-based mineral. It's called chrysocolla. It's a very hard material, and it shines it very nice and pretty. So we take the stone like this. Got a rock saw. Basically, what it is, it's a wet-based saw that water fills the reservoir here. It's got a very thin blade, and we cut the turquoise into very thin pieces. That's an end piece that came off of it. There we go. See, very thin pieces, anywhere from 3 to 6 millimeters. Anything over 6 millimeters in thickness, it makes it too difficult to work with, and anything under 3 millimeters, it can be very brittle to work with. So after we slice it there, then we figure out what the basic shape is. We cut a rough cut of the shape out. And then we come over to this machine here. This is a cabochon machine. And what this does, it's got a water supply that comes in. Control the water here. And I'm not going to turn it on because it's pretty loud. But it spins at pretty high revolutions. And we've got diamond impregnated wheels. There's 6 of them. So we start out here with 80 grit that gets it to the basic shape. And then we start refining. We go to 200 grit. This is 280 grit, 600 grit, and the higher the grit number is the number of pieces of diamond that are within a square inch. This is 600 grit. This is 1500 grit. And this is 3000 grit. By the time you get to the 1500 to 3000, you're just looking for kind of a final polish, getting all of the scratches out of the stone. Then this is an elk skin wheel, and we put what's called sapphire powder on here, and that's what we use to get the final polish on the turquoise. So after the turquoise is cut and polished, then we go up into the jewelry studio.
And now we're going to take a little view on over to the jewelry studio for Mr. Accord.
Okay, I'm back. Made it up to my studio. It's a bit of a mishmash. It's not your traditional one. It's just one I've kind of put into my house. So this is my collection of all my cabochons that I've cut downstairs. So we take the finished cabochon over here. This is my jeweler's desk. And so what I've done here is just accumulated all the different tools. Some of the tools that are important are, number one is my torch. This is a very important tool to solder all of the silver together. Most of the silver I get, it comes in sheets, fabricated sheets. So different gauges, different thicknesses. These are half-round wires I use for ring bands. Here's a little bit of a thicker one, or we can cut them out of these as well. That being said, one of the more important pieces of equipment is my jeweler's saw. I have troubles cutting a straight line with a power saw, so it's been quite interesting to learn how to cut with a jeweler's saw, and a collection of different types of pliers. These dividers are very important to help mark things, and then a pair of calipers. These are digital calipers. It really helps in measuring. So. And then this is a soldering block. I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of and show you how to do it. I'd get too involved in this. It'd be too long. I don't have that much time. So this is called bezel wire. We put this around the cabochon and then attach it to the silver and then put the shank on it, and it all works out well. So this is just basically where it's all fabricated. use the heat to solder everything together. And then after that's done, we go over here, and this is my polishing station. So it's important that you have a good mask. It was very fun trying to get one of these in time of COVID, but with some of the things that you got flying around, you don't want to be breathing those in. And this is just a small polishing lathe that I have. It's very important. There's 2 steps to polishing. There's the cleanup process where it actually kind of takes very small bits of the silver off to get it looking very nice, and then you've got the polishing side. So you got to make sure that you the 2 don't mix. They're 2 different compounds, and it makes it look very nice. And then this is another important part is I've got a flexible shaft here, and then my anvil. This is polishing. It's called Zam, and then hammers. You've got your rubber mallet. This one I use for stamping, and this is a chasing hammer. So use this to form the ring shanks or ring bands in order to get them formed properly. And these are fun. This is, probably can't see it too well. This is my maker's mark. Basically, it's just my it's a stamp I use for it's my initials, and every piece that I do has my initials on it, so that if you see it with the RKA the second on there, and it's the initials of my legal name, then you'll know that it's from me. And then here's a collection of different pieces I finished over the little while. Some of them are, some of these are more recent. They've been selling a little bit on my website, and I do know that there will be a link to my website on this. So, we finish up. I want to thank everybody for time. I gotta take my glasses off. I can't see without them, so I'm doing this blind. During this show until the end of February, so approximately 15 days, and you click on my website, and there's a coupon code. It's AFH, Art for the Heart, 2021. So AFH 2021. You put that in, and it's 20% off of anything that's on my website. If you have any questions, all my contact information is on there, and thank you very much.
Hi. So Maria calls herself Hearts and Keys because of an early painting she did of a heart with wings and piano keys. She says she doesn't possess much musical talent, so her art is her preferred form of expression. She's from Pennsylvania and has lived in Arizona for 16 years. She likes to create fun, bright art pieces such as acrylic pour paintings and necklaces. So we'd like to move into a video of her studio tour.
Hey, I'm Maria Hyde. I am the owner of Hearts and Keys Art. I'm just going to take a little tour of my studio since we're doing the online version of the Art for the Heart Festival this year. So before I get started, I just wanted to show you around a little bit. Not an exciting studio by any means compared to some places. It's the front room of my house that also serves as guest room, but this is where I create my art. For the next year, I am going to be running a special since we do lower prices typically during events. So if you do enter in art, the number 4 heart, as a coupon code on heartsandkeysart.com, you would get 20% off. Anybody in the city of Maricopa that is looking for things or purchases to be delivered in the city, I can deliver. I can also meet you someplace if we don't want to deal with shipping. But here we go. I'm just going to show you around a little bit. All right, so just to take a quick look at my studio. Like I said, it's not very exciting. It is just a bedroom, but it's definitely my cozy place. I enjoy this space. Painted the walls purple. Sometimes it looks like a small child lives in here. I am, however, 40 years old, so whatever. But artists are fun that way. So just a couple things to take a look at in here. I've got this painting that was done as part of a Maricopa City art contest, I think through the Art Council. Did not win, however, it was a fun thing to do. My collection of stuffed animals. So one important piece of my art room, I think, is this painting by my grandma, the late Marion Francillo. She was a great artist. She was visually impaired. She worked with acrylic, or with oils rather. This is one painting I have of her. She's got very, very many spread out through the family. I do have some more that I'm going to be getting eventually. Here we've got a few more paintings that I have done. Just some things that are around. There's a lot more in storage, but I do a lot of pour artwork. So using Floetrol and acrylic paints. A lot of them I do use as backgrounds. I do like to paint over them. This is a wall hanging my mom made and a quilt my mom made. So definitely some creativity in my family in general. But here we got some of my desert painting series. A few of those. Paint board or a bulletin board that I painted. And we've got some cool cat curtains from IKEA that my brother told me I should not buy, so I bought them. Anyways, here's my desk. I got this as a free giveaway on Facebook. Somebody was throwing it out because they were moving, which has served my purpose rather well. Pretty much, basic space, like I said. Share it with the treadmill and a futon that's behind me, so serves as our guest room too. But just have a lot of fun with the area that I have. Like I said, I mostly do acrylic paints. I use a lot of Soho paints from Jerry's Artorama, some Liquitex Basics. We've got some fun glow-in-the-dark paint there that I do play with on occasion. Black lights are really easy to see the glow-in-the-dark when you're trying to paint with it. But really just collection of some fun stuff that I have, some brushes. Right now I'm working on some necklaces that hopefully I will have posted by the time the festival starts. But really just fun space, love being in this space, have a lot of fun with it. And so really I hope you enjoyed the little tour here. And this is one of my cats. This is Piper. I was trying to look for her. But anyways, thanks for taking a look, and definitely check out my shop. It is heartsandkeysart.com. Like I said before, there is a coupon code ART number 4 heart. Put that in at the checkout, get 20% off, and hope to see you in person next year.
All right. Our next artist is a talented Maricopa High School alumna who has a passion for oil portraiture and tattoo design. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce everyone to Seattle Lucahans. Seattle recently received her Associates of Arts from Central Arizona College, and her favorite type of art to create are oil portraits, and she always creates a unique story for every subject that she paints. If you have any questions for her, you can contact her at slutcahans@gmail.com. Our next artist is a teacher at MHS. This is Kyle Norby. Kyle Norby has a passion for photography and describes it as satisfying and meaningful, and a unique experience for everyone. He began as an amateur and improves his skills every day, and he makes sure to always challenge himself so that he never stops being creative. Kyle Norby has provided us with a studio tour video, or actually a video introduction, and we're going to show you that now.
Hey there, my name is Kyle Norby. I am the digital photography teacher at Maricopa High School. I've been doing it for a few months now, still pretty new. If you're here, good to see ya. Art for the Heart's a great event. I've attended plenty of times. It's in its infancy still, but just seeing that immediate growth is so awesome, and just seeing all these talented kids, people, just the talented community that we have is awesome. I still don't bunch myself in with those talented people personally, but I think most people who have talent, or artists in general, are their own worst critics, of course. But I do a lot of photography. I actually started on my journey of creating in graphic design in high school, the position that Miss Maria Poor now helms. So when I started, I just fell in love with making things like little logos for fake YouTube accounts I wanted to do, and little logos I'd make with my friends to make YouTube channels, thinking about what I could put on a shirt if I wanted to tell a cool story. That's where it all began, and then I kind of ventured into video work, actually doing YouTube videos with some friends. Pretty cringy, but you know, it was all in good fun. We still look back at it and laugh. But another big thing is what led with videography is you learn, you know, composition, you learn how to pace something, how to light something, and that translates pretty directly to photography, believe it or not. But I started with videography, moved on to photography, just started shooting what I enjoyed. My big thing with photography is it's something you can't really explain, that process and the way of grasping something in that moment in time is something you can't explain to everybody. I get the most inspiration when I travel around with my wife. We like going cross country. We want to travel out of the country soon, but you know, everything going on, it's a little hard. But overall, photography is just a great experience, and giving those kids a skill that they can take with them forever, whether they become a professional photographer or they just want to use it as a tool to express themselves in a way they might not have known they could. So with things like that, it's super important to remember that just be yourself and just shoot what makes you happy. I don't have any specific preference. I don't do photo shoots for pay or anything really. I kind of just do it as a hobby, and it turned into a career. So whether you're starting small or you think your work's not good, just keep doing it. Take any constructive criticism that's given to you. Don't be afraid to improve or stand up for yourself and say, hey, this is the kind of style I like. You know, there's no right or wrong answers, just what feels right. So if you'd like to go visit my shop, it'll be here. There'll also be a link in there. But it was good talking to you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Art for the Heart and get to see some other amazing artists. Goodbye.
So, for our next artist, I would like to talk about our very own Maria Poor. Mrs. Poor is a graphic art and design teacher at Maricopa High School, and she's the advisor for the Art for the Heart collective. She's a proud teacher of incredible students whom have worked determinedly to continue this art festival and showcase Maricopa's local talents. As an artist, she enjoys creating graphic drawings, oil and acrylic paintings, stained glasswork, and digital pieces. She was recently selected as one of the Maricopa Wild Horse Public Arts Initiative artists and is honored and humbled to have her work showcased.
Thanks so much for that, Emily. All right, so next I'd like to take the spotlight off of me, and I'd like to put it onto a collective of a couple really incredible, talented young artists that are part of our Maricopa High School Advanced Placement Studio Art class. We have with us Lily, Anissa, and Lexie, but we also are showcasing work from Joseph and Zach. Hi guys, how are you doing? How's it going today?
I'm doing good. I'm really glad that we have the opportunity to do this.
Thank you, Lily. For my first question, I'd like to ask Anissa. Anissa, what well-known, famous, or modern artist inspires you the most?
I think someone the most. He's more popular on Instagram, but it would be Andrew Kadima. I think his use of like light and color and portraiture is like really stunning, and I inspire it for my art.
Thank you, Anissa. Lily, this question is for you. What got you into the specific medium that you're currently using?
So I currently acrylic mostly. So like when I was younger, acrylic paint was more accessible, and it was like my first paint medium I used. So from then I just kept using it, and
Thank you very much, Lily. This question I have is for Lexie, our own studio director. Lexie, do you have any particular pet peeves when you work on an art project?
So I usually tend to work in oil paints, and a big pet peeve of mine is whenever it takes like ages to dry. I usually like use liquid as a mixing medium so that it speeds the drying process, but sometimes it just still takes a while and I'm a little impatient. So if it takes a while to dry, sometimes I'll just be like, it's fine, and try and continue on and then totally mess it up.
Anissa, I'm going to torture you with the hardest question possible. Why do you love art so much? What is it about art that draws you every day?
I like art so much because it's like a different way to express myself, and typically it's hard for some people, especially me, to express their ideas and thoughts through ways, and art is just something that really helps me get my point across in ways that I didn't even imagine was possible.
Thank you so much, Anissa. Lily, how do you use art as your form of expression?
I use art to express my emotions and the concepts that are not spoken, and I use art to like create the feelings that are suppressed and express them in ways I can't do while I'm talking. Just in
Very nice, thank you. So Lily, do you have any particular subjects that you like to paint? Landscaping, portraiture, what is kind of your go-to?
my favorite thing to paint of all time is like any type of objects. I like to create them in life form through like a painting or oil painting.
My next question is for Lexie. Lexie, you've been an artist for quite a long time, since a young age, as so have the rest of you. You're still young artists. But how has your practice kind of changed and developed over time?
Whenever I first got into art, I was actually a toddler, and my parents ran a pottery studio, and so my first experiences with art were in the form of like ceramics and painting ceramics. And from then, I kind of just like branched out and started drawing with graphite for the most part. And then honestly, it wasn't really until like high school that I really started experimenting with medium. Um, I was always really scared of using oil paints, and then as soon as I like worked up the courage to try them, I loved it, and I've like never gone back. Um, but yeah, I think um, just kind of like as I mature, I become more open to trying new things, especially with art. Um, and that's kind of resulted in a fluctuation of my medium preferences.
Now, Anissa, I hear you're becoming quite a big deal, young lady. You have your Wild Horse art project. You're getting interviewed by everybody. There's even going to be a partial documentary made about you. What tips, if any, do you have for people who are just starting out and are interested in taking the same type of journey you've been taking?
I would say that for like young artists to definitely keep practicing, because that's what worked for me. When I first started, I drew like every day for months, and it just like kept improving. And definitely like focus on skills that you enjoy doing, and like getting out there helps a lot too, because like for me, I enter many contests and I take art classes, and I really recommend doing that, and just like putting yourself out there, especially for social media. It can get your art around, and you can get constructive criticism, which really helps.
Thank you, Anissa. So this question is for Lily. What kind of art media would you really like to experiment with more?
The art medium I would like to experiment with more is digital. I think the concept of digital painting and just digital drawing is really cool, and the way that it comes out, 'cause sometimes can.
Well, I think I know a really good place exactly where you could practice that. You and me, Lily, we're going to talk later. All right. My last and final question is going to be for our own director, Lexie Nordhoff. Lexie, how do you find the inspiration for all of these incredible things that you create?
For most of my pieces, I draw inspiration from like personal experience, personal emotions. I use it mostly as like a form of expression, and so my main inspiration is just like what I am currently feeling or going through. And as far as like visual, I will be honest, I often find reference photos on Pinterest or just stuff that I see on the internet, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I need to paint that. But yeah, I think that my main source of inspiration would definitely be just my own experience.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us and being a part of Art for the Heart Festival. It has meant a lot to have you guys here. And thank you also to everybody. Please check us out at artforheartmaricopa.com to see more about every single one of these talented artists, to see a recording of today's video like you just saw, and to also get links to everybody's websites. We have in the front beginning section some artworks from all of these talented people that you've got to meet today. We're going to be having in this section here a recording video. We also have a really awesome Meet the Artist section where you can see individual artist bios and get links to their individual pages. In addition, here's a little bit more about Maricopa High School Graphic Art and Design program and how and why we started the American Heart Association charity event, Art for the Heart. You can also click a link into our website to make a difference in the fight against heart disease by donating to the American Heart Association by hitting the donate button. We also have a shop button where you guys can go onto our Redbubble and you can purchase artworks created by the incredible students at Maricopa High School Graphic Art and Design, where you can get some Art for the Heart swag and check out some other really cool pieces. We also would love you guys at any point in time when you feel the need to contact us and reach out and let us know if you would like to be a part of Art for the Heart next year. On the very bottom of our site, we have an Art for the Heart Arizona page where you guys can go to and you can also sign up to be a part of our festival next year. Thank you everybody so much for your support, for your time, and we hope we get to see you guys soon together next year.